Alan Colmes, host of the Alan Colmes radio show. Katie Pavlich, editor for townhall.com and both at Fox News contributors. Katie, you call in the old team to give you advice. Maybe you needed them. What do you think of this?
Are we really surprised? President Obama is very good at campaigning, not necessarily getting results when it comes to actual policy positions, but he does have a good campaign team that got him into the Oval Office for a second time when all the odds were against him. He needs this team to craft a message. The American people do not want military intervention into Syria, and he's bringing out the attack dog, Stephanie Cutter, deputy campaign manager. He's essentially calling this team back in to not try and get votes from Congress, but essentially to shame them into voting for this. We saw this with President Obama's message this morning, shifting blame for the red line to the rest of the world and saying that the ball is essentially in Congress's court, and that's exactly what the old campaign team is going to do.
Anita Dunn, Stephanie Cutter, David Axelrod, Robert Gibbs, David Plouffe, they've all moved on from the White House. They were back there yesterday. Alan, what do you think of
what
this?
Year is this?
Smart strategy? Is it a necessary strategy, or did you ever have to find yourself in this position in the first place?
Yeah, he's in a terrible spot. He never should have said red line. He is now asking Congress to do something he originally was not going to do. There were so many mixed messages on this. When he went into Libya, he invoked the War Powers Resolution and just did it, and then informed Congress within 48 hours, as the War Powers Resolution calls for. And now he's in a situation where he's trying to get some Republicans and some Democrats and a bunch of odd bedfellows here. You've got Republicans who, on one hand, are perhaps in favor of doing this and spending all this money. On the other hand, are talking about defunding the government. And how can we have sequester and still at the same time talk about funding an unnecessary war, as General McInerney just said, against a country that's not a threat to the United States?
Interesting points, all of them, Katie, but the next wave in this story will be selling it to the American people.
Right.
And, you know, John Boehner has talked for several days now that the American people have not been talked to about this.
Well,
and you have to think that strategy session dealt with that. That will be rolled out sometime in the next several days.
Well, I'm sure since it was full of people who are great at communicating, some of that was brought up. But the fact is that the first time we heard a very serious address about what we were going to do in Syria, it didn't come from President Obama. It came from John Kerry. I thought I was watching President John Kerry, telling the American people what exactly was going to happen. This is a situation where President Obama is essentially standing alone, not only in the United States, but on the world stage. And this exact situation warrants an Oval Office address, which he hasn't given to us. We had the Rose Garden address, but he really has to sit down, make his own case to the American people on his own in the Oval Office in a presidential state before anyone can move forward with a serious message on this. We don't want to hear it from his campaign advisors. We want to hear it from the president.
Alan, when would you expect that?
I would think he would do it before there's some kind of a strike, if he even gets that far, if Congress will actually agree. A lot of the pundits are saying, well, Congress will probably agree. But, you know, my concern is, I'm against this. I was against going into Iraq. Where are the conservatives who supported Iraq but don't support this? Why the double standard? Why are we doing these foreign wars against countries with no threat to the United States? The public doesn't want it. Our allies don't want it. It costs a lot of money. And what do we accomplish? As General McInerney said in a 2-day strike, and then you got McCain saying maybe we should do more. What do they want? They want regime change. How well has that worked out for us in the past? We've tried that in other countries.
We're all about to see whether or not we get it. Thanks to both of you. Katie and Alan, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll pick it up next time.